Hi everyone, I'm Chris from Growth Wave, and I'm here to do a short introduction to EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, sometimes known as tapping. Something that has personally changed my life completely. Incredible therapeutic technique that you can use on yourself, you can use on others, and I've used it a lot over the last 3 years to heal past traumas, move through some self-limiting beliefs, set up the life I've got now. And you can use it for all sorts of things, which I'll go into a little bit today. So I'm going to take you through where it came from, what it is, and then I'm going to give you a little demonstration so you can get tapping. Okay. I like to think of EFT as the perfect blend of kind of Eastern traditional medicine meets Western psychology. So it's got a really lovely blended learnings from acupuncture, NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, cognitive behavioral therapy, exposure therapies. So there's a real kind of melding of all of the different modalities in there. It's part of energy psychology, the school of treatment there, which energy psychology recognises the powerful connection between the mind and the body. That trauma, challenging memories, experiences, and the subsequent beliefs that arise from those experiences can be held in the body and energy systems, causing physical and emotional symptoms that can last for decades if they go unrecognised and untreated. EFT is recognised globally as a really effective treatment for both psychological and physical conditions, and is one of the safest, fastest, most reliable and most cost-effective therapeutic techniques available. As a result of that, its growing popularity has become used on the global frontline treatments for psychological first aid, particularly in the case of disasters, accidents, trauma, phobias, PTSD. Its popularity is growing thanks to treatment timeframes being really brief, symptom improvement lasting, staying fixed if you like, and both virtual and in-person sessions being effective, meaning you can do it from anywhere in the world. Very importantly, unlike other forms of therapy and counselling, it can be self-administered for day-to-day emotional stress management, as well as to reinforce work you've already done in sessions with a therapist, coach or practitioner. This meaning you can manage day-to-day challenges that arise more easily on your own. It could be safely and effectively shared with children, family members and others within your community as a stress management or emotional regulation technique. But using it to process serious trauma, distress and memories should be done with a licensed practitioner. So how does it work? A lot has been written and studied about how it works, but I like to keep it simple. It just works. You just have to try it. But it has been proven categorically, and we all know from our own human experiences, that difficult memories, events, physical pain and trauma, you feel them in your body. We have all experienced these physical effects in our lives, often daily. The butterflies in the stomach, the stabbing in the solar plexus, heaviness in our heart, or a weight draped across our shoulders, pressure in our head, tension in our jaw or neck. We all know these experiences of the physical manifestation of emotions. That's just presenting physically in the body. These emotions have an intensity and an energy that we can feel. By tapping on a series of key energy meridians across the body, breathing mindfully and focusing on the issues and emotions we want to address, we can reduce their intensity drastically. With less pain and intensity, we can then begin to see these issues more clearly with perspective, often creating enough space to be able to better understand them, reframe them, and find some inner peace and resolution. I have a lot of sceptical clients, and I was a skeptic too at the start. That's okay, I always say. I don't know exactly how it works, it just works, so what have you got to lose? Particularly with processing traumatic memories, I found personally and with clients that when performing a series of fine motor skills, such as tapping various points in sequence and speaking out loud or listening at the same time, we just can't easily go into that fight, flight, freeze response where there's not much happening and we're in a fear state. This is very different from basic talk therapy, where going over and over difficult memories can lead to therapy fatigue, distress, and sometimes even re-traumatize people in some cases. So what I'm going to go into now is a little demonstration to help you get started tapping. Thanks. So my invitation would be just to ground yourselves. To do that, just close your eyes, a few seconds. We're going to do a couple of big deep breaths, 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out, really leading with the belly. And what we're doing there is we're just signaling to the system to change gears, moving over to the parasympathetic nervous system and just dropping out of whatever we've been in before. So just relaxing, sending that signal. Tapping can be done with eyes open or eyes shut. I personally prefer to tap with my eyes closed to be able to tune into things, but for the purposes of this video, I'll be keeping my eyes open. You choose. Breathing wise, we don't breathe often enough. It sounds silly, but we've got to breathe from our stomachs, then let our chest rise to finish, and then repeat the process the other way around, chest and stomach. And by doing that, we're just sending good signals through our body to relax, and the whole process becomes easier. So keep breathing as you tap. I'm going to take you through the tapping points now. Karate chop. So you can use just a couple of fingers, applying gentle pressure, nothing too drastic, just so you can feel it and you feel comfortable. And this is the point I'll refer to as karate chop. Next, top of the head. So this is your crown, not further forward on your head, top of your head. Just gentle pressure, just breathe. There's no set amount of times you tap, just whatever feels natural. Next tapping point is eyebrow, just at the bony point where your eyebrow ends, just tapping on the eyebrow point. And say side of the head point, just on the bone, around the temple, side of the head. And moving under the eye, on the bone, top of the cheekbone here, eye socket, under the eye. And moving under the nose, the line here, just find a comfortable place, call that under the nose. Remembering to breathe. Now say under the mouth. Just a couple of fingers, somewhere between the chin and the mouth, under the mouth. Next, you move to the collarbone. This one could be a little tricky at first. Just feel around with your fingers. You're going to follow the bone across here, and then you're going to feel where it starts to merge into the shoulder joint. There's a little dimple there. Yeah, just feel around. You'll find a little impression. That's the tapping point there, little lymphatic drainage site. So that's collarbone. Then, I'm going to need you to lift your arm up. For ladies, this is often referred to as the bra strap point, where your bra strap comes across. Fellas, it's the ribs, but I'll refer to this as under the arms, just maybe 3 or 4 ribs down, just tapping under the arm. Next, I'll say wrist point, and so this is across the wrist, 2 fingers, as if you were taking a pulse. I'll call this wrist point. And then we move through the fingers. So when tapping on the fingers, perhaps take 2 fingers from one hand, doesn't matter which way around you do it, whatever works for you. And we're just tapping just maybe a few centimeters down from the end of each one. So the thumb, across the fingers. And then you'll notice we're back to that start point again, the karate chop, sometimes referred to as the setup point. And we use that in EFT practice quite a lot. But the whole thing's designed just to move around in a nice flow. Some questions that come up often. Does it matter which hand I tap with? No, it doesn't. Whatever feels comfortable to you. Some people like to tap with 2 hands. Yeah? Absolutely fine. Whatever works for you. Yeah. Gets a bit crowded under there. But you can use 2. I tend to work and stay on one side of the face, if you like, as I move through. So I might go top of the head, eyebrow that side, side of the head that side, under the eye that side, and then I'm back to the center. So take it easy, remember to breathe, and just take yourself through the points. And you'll find very quickly, even the combination of just breathing with your eyes closed, moving through the points on your body, you should start to feel some relief, some calm. And that calmness bringing down the intensity within the body, the feeling of the emotions. That can be a great first aid tool for emotional first aid. Having a bad day, feeling that flare of anger perhaps, wave of sadness, just go in and meet that energy, meet that feeling. Okay, I have this anger, yeah. All this anger. I'm angry at my boss. I'm angry at the person who cut me up in traffic. I have this anger. All this anger. This anger. This anger I'm holding in my body. I have this anger. So you see how it works. Just we can use that day to day, just to meet the feeling, not trying to push it away, just to meet it and use the tapping points to help guide us through. One thing that we can do as we start to self-administer some EFT to ourselves is just to look at what's called a setup statement. So this might be where we have an issue in mind. So perhaps we're feeling some anxiety that day. We don't perhaps know exactly what the anxiety is about. That's okay, we're just feeling anxious, maybe butterflies in the tummy, a bit of queasiness, something like that. Invitation would be to, on the setup point, just get started. That's okay. Start to breathe. And the statement is, even though I have this anxiety, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And that's the setup statement. That just signifies, okay, this is the issue we're working on. We're tapping into that anxiety as we go. So just a reminder, even though I have this anxiety, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Now, if you want to go a step further with that, just find where it is in your body. So breathe. Okay, I have some fear. It's anxiety, it's fear. It's fear in my belly. Okay, I might not know what it is about, but that's okay. Go back to the setup point. Even though I have this fear in my belly, even though I have this fear, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Now at that point we've set up for a round of tapping and we can move through the points, reaffirming the fear that we feel in our stomach. So, all this fear. Moving between the points after each statement. This fear in my stomach. All this fear I'm carrying in my stomach. All this fear I'm feeling. All this fear. This fear. All this fear I'm feeling in my stomach. This fear. All this fear. Yeah, all this fear I'm feeling. All this fear I'm feeling about making this video. All this fear I'm feeling about getting it right. All this fear. And then just at the round, just feel into the body. Okay, what's happened now? Has it moved? Has it changed? Has it gone from fear to sadness? Has it come down in intensity? Just check in with yourself. I won't be going too far with this video today. This is just a basic outline. My invitation would be to find yourself a good EFT practitioner and learn, do some self-learning, learn a little bit more, but get someone to take you through this and how this can then be used into a therapeutic process. It shouldn't replace any medications, treatments or therapies you are having at present, without consulting your doctor or therapist, but it can complement these other approaches as a stress management and self-help tool. So I really thank you for taking the time to be with me today. I will be doing some more videos on emotional freedom technique over time, but hopefully this is enough to get you started on your tapping journey. Thanks for your time.